Now, a few minutes ago, I mentioned the destructive testing that we did. And so, about a week ago, we shot that, actually it was this arrow, we shot it into a block of modeling clay. With a compound bow. It was actually the Outlaw Diamond at 60-pound draw weight. You can see the pattern of the broadhead when it went in. It actually penetrated just under 3 inches. It did not come all the way through the clay, and the broadhead appeared totally undamaged. So we took that same broadhead, mounted it to a crossbow bolt. The crossbow had 185-pound draw weight, 410 foot per second speed. It penetrated the clay completely. You'll notice some slight deformation, very minimal. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this broadhead. We would shoot it again. It's just after seeing it here in the clay, we thought, well, let's leave it in the clay and use that for demonstration purposes. You'll notice the distance that the arrow protrudes past the clay. We had 2 blocks of this high density foam after the clay, and the broadhead actually penetrated that and left this little toxic pattern. Maybe you can see it better from this side where the paper is, the 3 holes, and actually punched through what's called a meatworm, which was this foam. Totally cut. I mean, imagine that as the flesh of a deer or a boar. I mean, just imagine the blood that's going to come out of that. So we are actually going to shoot into a pork butt in a few minutes and actually show you what that meatworm in real meat is going to look like. Well, we're back after taking a few minutes setting up the ham for this interesting shot we're going to do. So if you just want to take a look down range, I'll give the countdown and we will send this arrow into that beautiful piece of ham. Firing in 3, 2, 1, fire! So if our cameraman would like to come closer here, we'll show you that we actually get full penetration, and there is a meatworm sitting here between the ham and the block of foam. Right in the back here. So we'll just quickly kind of grab that. It's still kind of attached to the skin. But this is the meatworm. This is actually an example of the flesh that's going to get cored out by the broadhead itself. Now we'll try to, if you look at the front, you can see where we went in. We have, through the skin, we have a little flap of a meatworm there. And we've got the two other flaps of meatworm. But perhaps what's going to be a little more interesting is this did penetrate all the way through the pork, penetrated through the 4 inches of high density foam, and if you look in the back, you can see it penetrated right into the target. So we're just going to pull this out. So you can see just how deep penetrated into the target. Now I don't recommend shooting these broadheads into a target because it is going to destroy your target pretty quickly. But we'll see what that looks like there on the front. Now I'll pull that out so we can go look a little closer at the ham. Well, we're back again for shot number 2. The first shot missed the bone, went straight through the ham. We were able to show you a couple meatworms. Now we've lined it up as best we could to try to hit the bone so we can see what type of damage the broadhead's going to do to the bone, and subsequently what type of damage the bone will do to the broadhead. So we're going to count down the fire. We're going to start at 5. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire. So as you can see, we didn't get full penetration. However, we got a split all the way through the bone, all the way to the top. So we know we hit bone. We know we've done substantial damage. It looks like we blew the back side. So probably really split that bone good. We blew the hide right off the side of the pork. We've got some significant wound cavities here at the front where if this was a live animal, there would be huge trails of blood flying out of there. We'll just see how difficult it is to pull the... Yeah, that broadhead is definitely into the bone. So we're gonna have to cut this apart, and we'll show you what that looks like when we come back.